For today, I have prepared a lot of PvP for you. And speaking of PvP, in the last couple weeks, I was trying to come up with fresh new builds for my primary PvP ships, and some of the builds that I use have been completely overhauled, some of them have been slightly changed, and today I'll show you a couple of the ships that I use that have been changed. Of course, I still have to do a lot of testing for the other ships, but the first ship that I'll show you today will be the Cinnabal. Now I have had a really good time with the Cinnabal. The ship is working really well and absolutely no issues with it, but I wanted to do something new. So I have added one extra extender to the classic Cinnabal build. Now have a large and medium extender. It still has excellent DPS and the barraging plan still works really well on this ship. But now I have a lot more shield and should have a lot more tank. Basically this is a EVE Online build replicated for the Cinnabal, and so far I have to say it does work really well. So the module out with this build is about the same. Let me just do this, and yeah, this looks nice. So the speed is the same, 54,000 hit points, 24,000 in the shield, which is a lot of shield for a cruiser. With the damage control active, you get 18 seconds of very high resistance, and I have 160,000 hit points now on the Cinnabal. This used to be about 100,000, so I got about 60,000 extra hit points there, and you can use the medium extender and large extender at the same time, or you can use the medium one first and then the large one. It's really good for combat, and it does help at reducing the incoming damage on your primary shield. Now the next boat that I did change technically is the Macarial. Now usually I run the Macarial with a clocking device and triple webs, although recently I basically almost completely stopped using the cloaky Macarial, and in most cases this is the build that I use now, basically triple scramblers and quad gyro stabilizers. Now, is there something that I can change on the Macarial? Probably, and I'm working on a build that I will show you in the next couple days. Now I know I have confused a lot of players with the cursor on the screen, and a lot of players are asking me, am I playing on a PC? Now I think I talked about this before a couple times, but just in case I didn't, this is basically how my game looks nowadays. I mostly play on a tablet. This is not a laptop, this is a tablet with a keyboard case that does seem to work really well. It gives you a very nice desktop feel with this game, and since EVE Echoes is based on EVE Online, which is played by a mouse and keyboard, this game does work really well in the same way. So this is basically how I play the game nowadays. Sometimes I play on the phone, but my tablet almost completely replaced the phone because of the larger screen, and large screen keyboard plus mouse is just heaven for this game. So that's how I mostly play nowadays, while the phone can be a good backup, or in some cases when the battery on this thing is low I can just swap to the phone back. But I don't play on a PC, I don't play on an emulator. Most, if not everything that I record is made on a tablet or a phone, and basically that gets compiled into a video, and I just add the voice later on. But that's basically how I run the game, and honestly the game is very enjoyable in this way. So enough of me talking, and let's go blow up some ships now. The first targets, well, you probably guessed it based on the title of this video. We have another juicy space pan on the menu, and this space pan basically came out of the blue, just popped in. We were waiting for a Raven Striker to pop in, but a space pan has, of course, higher priority, and we are in Macarials. We are really quick on the response time, so we can get to the space pen very quickly. The Macarial is, after all, a oversized cruiser, and as an oversized cruiser, it does behave like a cruiser with large turrets. And there is the space pen. Excellent warping. Barrage on, everything heated up. And now we are doing damage on the space pen. Space pen already in armor, already in hull. And the space pen has been destroyed. Nice. I'm actually very glad that my friend got a kill, because I already have like 3 space pens. That's enough. So I'm very happy that my friend got the kill there. And now let's warp out. I forgot to turn off the mic warp drive, but doesn't matter, the ship warped because I was webbed, and that helped me to warp faster. Let me land, and then I can show you the space pen build. Now, the last 3 space pens did not have a good build at all. Like, all the space pens that we have destroyed so far had horrible builds. And, well, this space pen, 15.6 billion, pretty good, very nice. And yes, another very interesting build. So this space pen had 5 scranners and 5 ballistic controls, and they were focused on lock speed and DPS. This requires some closer inspection, so there's a chance that this space pen was actually baiting in this mission, although baiting in a mission with a paper ship with no tank is, you know, a little bit weird. Now, I see the idea behind it, and, you know, honestly, if the low slots were a bit different, I would actually say that this is a good idea, but the low slots and the rigs don't really make the ship, well, this current build at least, very good for the bait that this player thought that they would do. So 5 scrammers, that's about 25 point strength. They had points in the... They had other disruptors and webs in the cargo hold. And they also had long-range missiles. So they were prepared to change builds, which is interesting. Although I don't see any tank modules, which is a big fail. For a bait space pen, it can work. The bait space pen can work, but you really have to focus on a bit of tank and speed in order to make something like this work, especially when you come to this system where, well, let's say this system is quite well known lately, and it has a very nice spot in the total destroyed ISK in the game. Now, let me just quickly show you how I build my space pen. Now, this space pen that I use can be used for baiting, can be used for missions, for PvP. It is a multi-purpose space pen, but I have several different builds for this ship. Now, this build, ignore this build. This is basically something that I was experimenting about, so not the one that I would recommend at the moment. Now, I have one with rapid missiles, with torpedoes, and rapid missile with tank. The one that I use for PvP is this one. It combines decent DPS, it combines good survivability, maneuverability, and it has very good DPS. And I have the tanky one. Now, this is the build that I would use for a bait. It has really good DPS, and overall it does not go down easily, which the space pen that we killed had a problem with, but that's basically how I would build a space pen. That's how I use a space pen, and that's how I recommend that you try out the space pen if you like to do PvP with it. But, you know, a pretty solid first kill. Next target, we have a rattlesnake. This rattlesnake has the Ascension nanocore or the Dark-Halo nanocore. Both look very similar, and I have some good news. Since you see me flying the Revelation, I actually managed to log in my alt. I had some issues with my emulator, so because of the new software that I have on my phone, and I wasn't really able to run the alt on the phone, but on the tablet it runs really well. And finally my alt is back in action after about a month and a half of being offline, so that's I guess something positive that happened. Although I'm fairly sure that it will get banned again, and well, if that happens, then I guess that'd be it for the alt and probably for this game, at least for me. 4.3 billion, not bad. And well, this was a PvE rattlesnake, not the type of PvE build that I would use for null, but you know, I tried to show good PvE builds with the rattlesnake. Now we have one tornado, and this tornado is after our frigates. So basically, this tornado is using the snipe implant, and they have been going from station to station. They have been waiting. They have been charging the implant, and they are basically waiting for our frigates to go out and scan, and that's the moment when they kill one of our ships. But thankfully, I have noticed the suspicious behavior on time, and I took the appropriate measures to inform the fleet, to inform my friends that there is something suspicious happening here. And now we are going to develop a plan to catch this tornado. So the tornado will not shoot at something tanky. They are after something that they can kill in one hit. So a frigate, a cruiser, maybe a transport ship are perfect targets for a tornado. Now, my friend used a succubus, a very skilled pilot by the way, because the succubus took no damage from the tornado. And now the tornado is with timer. They are somewhere in the belts. We are going to go and try to catch the tornado while they are on the timer. I took the symbol, my friends took frigates, and there is the tornado. Now I warped first, and I warped at 100 to take the initial snipe hit, damage control active. Now I click on the extenders, but they did not turn on the first time. Now they turn on when I don't need them. But now the criminal timer has been extended to another 5 minutes, and they warped to a large anomaly. Now first I thought that they warped at 0, but of course they warped at 100, and in me being very fast in warping, I warped at the wrong distance. So I'll warp out and then I'll warp back. They still have the criminal timer. They are not going anywhere. They will be tackled very soon. So I will warp back to 100. I took little damage. If the extenders would actually turn on when I clicked on them the first time, I would not take any shield damage, but okay. Sometimes the game just does weird stuff like that, and well, can be helped, I guess. Bad luck overrides all skill. Okay, let me keep on warping. My friends are also chasing. I'm just waiting for the warping to occur. Okay, they have been tackled. The tornado has been tackled by the frigate. Since the tornado is using large artillery, I forgot how to speak for a second, they will not be able to track anything up close. There is a trick that can allow you to hit targets up close, but 99.99% of players don't know that trick. There is only one player that I know that knows that trick really well. And there is the tornado. Nice and tackled. Someone is about to have a very bad day. Scrambled, webbed, barrage on, gyro stabilizer on, and this is basically one of my first fights that I had with this build. They are charging up the sniping plant, but at this range they are never going to hit anyone. And we also have tracking disruptors, so they are definitely not going to hit anything, and I let my friend take the kill because they did most of the work. I just did most of the DPS. And the tornado has been destroyed. Very nice. That was a very, very good catch. Okay, I'll just wait out the weapon timer because they had the criminal timer. 374 million. And yes, this was a snipe tornado made to kill frigates, but the frigates ended up killing the tornado. Kinda ironic. Next target, we have one interceptor that's lurking around in a mission. I first thought that it might be
Warp
someone
drive
who
active.
is collecting planetary materials, because interceptors can be used for that. The Atron cargo scepter is basically the interceptor with the most cargo hold, and it's perfect for hauling stuff from null to low, basically everywhere. Now I messed up the warping, or well, that's what I did. Although at the time I did not notice that I will be flying quite close to the beacon. The beacon is basically right below me, and I'm floating towards it. I got uncloaked, and well, the interceptor has of course warped out because no one wants to be around a Stratius. Later the interceptor actually came back, and this time I had a better angle, a better approach. I have triple webs and a scrambler. Webbed, scrambled, and well, the heavy DPS drones did fantastic DPS. Stratus is a frigate killer, and it's also extremely sneaky.
We're under attack.
That's why I love this ship. Although I have a love-hate relationship
Warp
with
drive
Stratus because its speed is triggering me. It's extremely slow for a cruiser, but I love the fact that it can be so sneaky. It's a very, very sneaky ship. And this is the interceptor, 34 million. It's okay. I would say pretty good target practice. Alright, let's go to the
Undocking.
next target. Now, I believe we have another tornado. This one is a classic tier 8 tornado, and they are a sniper. As usual,
drive
most
active.
tornadoes nowadays are snipers. Now, this pilot, I have to give this tornado pilot some credit. They knew exactly how to orbit, and it looks like they have perhaps watched one of my videos, because they are doing exactly what I recommend players to do, and that is orbit without a good way to actually warp towards you. And they're moving with
Warp
no
drive active.
direct warping, with no proper warping location. So this means I'll have to do the
Enemy ships
classic
detected.
approach. Now the problem is that this tornado is moving. It looks like they are using afterburner, medium afterburner, at least that's what it looks like, might be wrong. But they are at a position where I can't really get to them with a simple warp. So I have to do the classic intercept tactic. Now, if you're orbiting in such a way, never approach towards the mission. Basically, maintain your optimal distance and always orbit in a way that there is no direct warping towards you. And this tornado did the first part really well. However, they are now approaching, and this is a mistake that they are doing at the moment, because they're approaching me and they are now basically going towards my ship. Slowly, of course, but they are still approaching my ship, and I'm also approaching them. So our combined speed is about, I would say, 800 meters per second. So I am going to be approaching them, or, well, I guess not anymore. Now they are moving away. Okay. I see what kind of tactic they are using. It's a good tactic. although a skilled hunter will still catch you eventually. So the best option here is to just orbit around a imaginary line that you project on your screen, and in that way you will have range and you will be safe from anyone with a Stratios trying to get close to you. Now, since they are doing the approach then take range tactic, they are now headed straight toward me, and this is a big mistake that they are doing. I also did a mistake in not approaching in a good angle, so I might actually miss the designated meeting point where I can actually decloak and tackle. And they changed course a little bit. They are moving at an angle, so that means at one point they will start to move away from me, 22, 23 kilometers. But I am missing I messed up the approach, so in a moment they will actually start to take rage. And well, I had my chance to tackle them. Now I have to probably change warping and probably change the distance and angle. Yeah, they are now moving away. I'm not going to catch. I might not be able to go, and yeah, they are now moving away. Well, I failed for this approach. It happens, not a big deal, especially with all the hate that I read in the comments every day. No wonder that I'm so distracted lately. Can't play properly. Yeah, this is not going to work. Perhaps that asteroid cluster over there. Although that asteroid cluster will drop me about 75 if I warp to... Yeah, there is no warping. Even if I go towards the cluster, I'm not going to be able to go and warp directly on top of them. Now here I thought about using a interceptor tackle, but it's not going to work because the tornado is aligned. They can easily warp away if they notice the interceptor, and they will be able to warp out before the interceptor gets in scrambler range. So the best thing that I should do here is probably warp out and then do a long range intercept from a different, better angle, because currently they are still moving towards that direction, towards the direction of the station, although not directly towards the station, but in that trajectory. So someone did scan, and the tornado got a ping, I got a ping, and the tornado left the system. Now, a little bit later, the tornado came back, and now we have a much better warping. The tornado is still quite close, and we have a good chance to get the scramblers and points on the tornado before they manage to get out. Although we are still waiting for the fleet warp. We have a ship here that has long-range disruptors, so we should be good. Although keep in mind, most tornadoes and most assault battlecruisers have crazy stabs, over 50 stabs in some cases. Okay, there is a tornado. They moved, unfortunately. They were quite close. Now they're at 41 kilometer. I'll just immediately launch drones and I will immediately tackle. The interceptor has points on the tornado. Excellent. Now I just have to launch my drones and the drones will reach the target. When they reach the target, I'll use the damage amplifier that I have installed on this ship. The orbit on the drones is 4 kilometers. Okay. Drones start to shoot at the tornado. Excellent. I turned off the torpedo launcher because, well, there is no range for the torpedoes. And somehow I got the kill there. Not really sure how that happened, but it did, and that was a very, very nice and a very professional
We're
catch.
under attack.
The tornado played smart, but unfortunately they did mess up some of the distances, and we took that as an advantage. We took that as an advantage to catch the tornado. Well, when I land, I will show you the kill. Let's align to a point in space, not to get uncloaked or decloaked by accident. 322 million, a sniper build tornado. A small micro warp drive. What the hell was that?
Undocking.
In any case, let's go to the next target. I think we have a Drake that is at 0. Around 0, not exactly at 0, but around. We should land quite close. I will be doing the fleet warp. I rarely do the fleet warp. Usually my friends are
Warp
much
drive
better
active.
at doing that. I am a very, very rusty fleet commander. And I personally don't trust myself being a fleet commander nowadays. Although I can be, I think I can be technically good. There is the Drake, webbed and scrambled. Well, this Drake has a lot of shields. Probably has at least one extender. Although there is basically no resistance on this Drake, because I'm almost doing full damage.
We're under attack.
And the Drake has been destroyed. Very nice. Let's loot and let's warp out. There is one C-type medium missile launcher that is a valued item on the market, especially. Now I would recommend that you keep the missiles at the moment, save them, because there's a chance that the missiles get a buff or a new skill in the future, and that will make the price for the missiles go up a lot. So you can make bank with the C-types easily, and that's basically what I'm doing. I'm not selling missiles until the price goes up. 326 million, not bad. Very decent value, although the build wasn't really the best on that Drake. Okay, next target. We have a Gila. Let's go to the Gila.
Warp drive active.
For a Gila, I have the classic Cinnabal setup with the DPS. This build works really well. I really like it, and I don't plan to change it. At least, well, actually, for DPS I don't plan to change it, but the other one for tank can be really good, in some cases much better than this one, but again, that depends on the target. Scrambled and webbed. Barrage on. Well, I thought it was webbed and scrambled, but stabs, so yeah, that's a lot of stabs on that Gila. That's a lot of stabs on that one faction cruiser. Oh well, let's warp out. 2 scramblers were not enough to hold that
Warp
ship.
drive active.
Oh, well, perhaps I will use the Stratios next time. The Stratios will definitely have enough points to hold the Gila. Okay, let's go to the next target. We have a Prophecy Command. Now I remember talking about the Prophecy Command in one of the last videos, where I was talking about the builds
Warp
that
drive active.
I start to see lately. a lot of them started to use the command burst modules. For a second I was struggling to find the... I forgot how they were called for a second. Well, this one felt tanky. Although it was also destroyed really quickly. Okay, let's warp out.
Warp drive active.
Should be a pretty good kill. After all, it is a prophecy command. They are usually quite juicy, especially if they have a lot of faction drones. $246 million. Well, this one was ready for PvP. Again, the one thing that I would change is the medium armor repair. I would use a large one. It would be a lot more tankier. Alright, next target we have a Cinnabon. Waiting for the webs to land on the Cinnabon so that I can land a good hit. And I landed a good hit, but I did no damage. Interesting. Well, actually I did some damage, but my friend did the last hit, which is fine. Now let's take a look at the kill when the kill pops up in the chat. 1 billion Cinnabon kill. Well, that's a pretty familiar build. Not enough storage. What do you mean not enough storage? This palette used the exact same build that I use on my own Cinnabon. Next target we have another Cinnabon. Waiting for the webs to land so that I can do the revelation magic that the revelation is known for. Okay, nice and slow down, and the Cinnabon got one tapped. That was a pretty good kill. Always nice to get some Concord missions done. Next target we have a Phantasm. Looks like the Phantasm is using a tungsten core, not really sure. We're about to find out anyway. Locked. I'm definitely not going to hit a Phantasm moving too fast. Well, I missed. It's fine. $2.1 billion, a pretty solid kill. Next we have a Caracol Sniper. I landed a little bit far off, which is my fault for... Well, sometimes you catch them, sometimes you don't.
Warp
It's fine.
drive.
I was really late on the on that one. Basically landed when they finished the mission. Next target, this is a Dominic's tool that warped off when we entered system, but we were camping and they eventually returned. They have a damage control, but that damage control is not going to do much against this much DPS, and this Dominic's tool got destroyed. We got some nice medium drones. And now let's warp to the asteroid field.
Warp drive active.
2.2 billion, a solid kill, although I expected. Now we have a Sunensis, and this Sunensis did get a ping notification. This is a exploration site. And they are now slowly approaching. I'm lurking around, so they are basically flying towards the boxes, and they will be flying straight into the Stratios that is lurking nearby. Okay, now time to tackle, almost. Okay, focused fire, weapons crumbled, they flew right into the trap. And I just noticed I have only 3 medium slots, so this Stratios that I'm currently flying is extremely cursed. For some reason I forgot to add a module, not really sure why, but that was a very funny little catch. And well, you can camp and wait for the... Let's take a look at the kill. 173 million, unfortunately a cheap scanner. Wish that it was a more expensive one.
Warp drive active.
Let's go to the next target. Well, there is no one here. That's weird. I guess the target has warped out. Oh well. Like I said before, sometimes you catch them, sometimes you don't.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
Well, was a... okay, was a warping location, my bad. We have a apocalypse. And there is the apocalypse. Scrambled and webbed. Well, this apocalypse seems to be having no tank. What's happening here? And I stole the kill. Lovely. Well, my bad, did not want to steal that kill. Although 3 Macarials, that's a lot of...
Warp drive active.
That's a lot of DPS. 3 Macarials, that's about 25-30,000 DPS. Right there on the grid. Against a very poor Apocalypse. Oh man, I kinda feel bad actually, but you know, a kill is a kill. A lesson is a lesson. Hopefully the pilot learned. They were not even aligned, which is a big mistake with battleships. Okay, let's take a look at the stolen kill. 448 million, and they did have beam lasers, a sniper, a very cheap Apocalypse, actually, a very cheap Apocalypse. Now, I also did mention that I'll be flying some of the older ships. I also did kind of return to the Hyperion, but the Hyperion, I don't know, it feels kind of weird. It's a good ship, but it doesn't feel like it used to. It's not my my original Hyperion. I sold that one. This is a Hyperion, a much cheaper one, but using the same nanocore. 502 million ISK Oracle, not bad. Although I did not get a kill, but that's fine. Let's go to the next target. I like to jump between all the ships that I flew in the last couple weeks. Figured out that I might just show you what I was doing with my ships in the last couple weeks, because I was mostly uploading the fitting guide.
Warp drive active.
And we have a Dominix. Again, the Dominix, well, this battleship is not aligned. They're just sitting there, and well, I'll just go full DPS on this ship.
Enemy ships detected.
Dominix now into armor,
We're under attack.
and now into... And now, well, the Dominix is destroyed.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
Okay, let's warp out.
Warp drive active.
Let me align myself towards the station, and then I can take a look at the kills. 605 million. Well, they use sentry drones and full DPS. That's why they were not aligned, and that's why they were not
Located
moving.
here.
Now the next target we have an orca, and the orca will be tackled. They have been well, they haven't been tackled yet, just waiting for the command. Let's jump. I think it's time. This orca has been well, the orca is currently mining right at our doorstep, and now I am going to support with DPS.
Warp drive
Not really
active.
sure who would. No idea who would want to come to this system here, right at the door, right at the pirate's door, to mine with a capital ship. Well, technically not a capital, but the orca is between a capital and a battleship, so you know it's a mini capital. And there is the orca. I was warping so that I don't get caught by the bubble, so that I can land very close to it. Okay, let's lock on. The ship is quite slow. The Hyperion is quite slow when it has to be slow, but it's... No, my apologies. It's slow when it has to be fast, but fast when it has to be slow. Kinda weird and kinda hilarious. I will maintain this range, although perhaps I will go and ram it. I think I'll just go and ram the orca, because why not? I'll just go ram. Ramming speed, micro warp drive on. The thermal implant still charging. We'll get the extra DPS at heat above 70. That's a very nice ram, by the way. And the Orca has been destroyed. Some mining drones. Okay, well, this wasn't a bait as I expected. This was actually a mining ship mining at our doorstep. What could possibly go wrong? Let's mine at pirates territory and expect not to get killed by the pirates. 2.7 billion and, well, a cursed Orca. I never thought that I would see a cursed Orca or a cursed capital, but here we are. A cursed capital ship. Oh well. Let's go on to the next target. This was a very nice catch. Next target, we have a Battlecruiser. I'm slowly approaching the Battlecruiser with the micro warp drive. Hopefully I'll be able to weapon scramble them on time. Was a pretty solid kill. Not going to complain about that. 400 plus million for a very easy target, always nice. Now let's go to the next target.
Warp drive active.
We have an Ashimu. Ashimu has been scrambled and webbed. Barrage on. Gyro stabilizers also engaged, full speed. And well, this Ashimu did not last long at all. This faction cruiser has been killed very quickly. Unfortunately, the Ashimu is not what it used to be. It used to be such a good ship back in the old days. Nowadays the Ashimu is average, I would say. Mostly because of stabs and mostly because of the changes. Hopefully the April will bring some good updates on the balance. You will see. Let me align myself towards the station, micro warp drive on, and let's take a look at the kill. 1.6 billion, not bad, pretty solid value. Next target, we have another Ashimu. This Ashimu will have to play with the revelation a little bit. waiting for the tracking to kick in, and then the Ashimo will be probably destroyed in 1 or 2 hits. Or it will miss. Well, looks like the Ashimo is not going to do any damage today. Yes, this ship is not in the mood. Well, I'm not in the mood, and I guess that's being portrayed on the ship. The ship just does not want to hit, although the Ashimo has been webbed and scrambled. So I'll just do something very stupid, and I'll just try to move. Perhaps I get a better angle that way. I don't know. This is something that you would do with battleships, although not really sure if this trick will work with dreadnoughts. Probably not. Probably it would work if I were using some other. If I had a micro warp drive, perhaps, but I'm still a floating brick. Even if the Ashimo is triple scrambled, triple webbed, I'll still be a brick of a ship, so probably not going to have enough tracking. And well, another very dumb move that I did here. I entered siege mode while moving 77 meters per second, 76. So yeah, not really a smart idea to do with a dreadnought, but the Ashimo has been destroyed, and I will show you the kill in a second. $1.8 billion. A shield tank Ashimo. Next, well, imagine this, a second Orca. Well, I guess it's Orca Day today, or well, it was Orca Day. This Orca trying to burn out, trying to turn around, but that's not going to work. And I guess this is going to be our second Orca kill for this video. And the Orca has been destroyed. Let's take a look at kill. 2.1 billion. Well, this is a weird build for an Orca, definitely been used for mining, although not really sure.
Warp drive active.
Not really sure about those medium slot modules. Perhaps they thought they changed the build to get the ship out to Yita or something. I have no idea. Next target, Hunter's Trap. Oh, do I miss the Valentine's missions? They were so much fun.
We're under attack.
And this was a very quick kill. Let's work out.
Warp drive active.
Okay, let me change the belt. This is not a good belt to wait out the criminal
Warp
timer
drive
for.
active.
416 million. This is a cursed Harvey. Of course it's cursed. Why would they use a good build
Warp drive
when they
active.
can use a cursed hybrid tank build with a armor repair and shield booster? Well, there was no one here. Okay, that's weird. I was 100% sure that I saw a ship here. Next target, we have a Badger 2, a red Badger 2. Fingers crossed for a Citadel drop. I remember when we got those drones, those lightweight ships. That was a very good catch. Unfortunately, this one Had a lot of fuel, so not really a total fail. It was a good solid kill. Next target, we have a Myrmidon. Approaching the Myrmidon with the Hyperion. The Hyperion has bad tracking, although it has good range. That's the drawback. But it was enough to destroy. This battlecruiser. $204 million. Next target, we have a Ferox. This Ferox is using one of the green cores, I believe, not really sure. We will find out in the next couple moments. $410 million, actually a pretty expensive one. And they used the blue nanocore. Okay. Next, we have a Cyclone. I'm still rolling the Hyperion, although I'm still trying to find what other battleship might be the way to go. Again, April is nearby, and who knows what will happen on the next balance patch. Okay, let's go back to the gate. 140 million. At least the build did not look that bad. And the next target, we have a Bellicose 2 core tops. Could be a Sino ship. You never know. I have to maintain this range in order to be able to track the Bellicose. Now you'll be surprised to see what's inside of the rack of this Bellicose. 1.1 billion. And a Sino, well, this was a Sino ship and a mission transport ship. Overall, I would say this was a hilarious catch. Next, we have a Nereus 2. The Nereus 2 is going down, of course, as expected, in hull, and the Nereus has been destroyed. $497 million. Well, I expected more, to be honest, but it's fine. Next, we have another Ashimu. And I am in the Revelation. Why is the Revelation attracting so many Blood Raider ships? I have no idea. But in any case, the Ashimu is webbed. And Well, the Yashimu survived the first hit because the Yashimu is moving and the Yashimu has been destroyed. Very nice catch. $1.4 billion, looks like a PvP Yashimu. Alright, well, that was a very long one. Overall, I had a lot of fun blowing up all of these ships, and well, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. As always, I love you all, stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.